Hello YouTube, it's Tony. So today I'll do a loot video on 10 hours of Scavenging 4 at Turoths. I will also show you my equipment inventory setup as well as my strategy on how I do this. Although this is meant to be a high level setup, but you don't need all the level requirements. With the release of Ancient Invention, Scavenging 4 is now available. For the Scavenging 4 perk, that requires 9 precious components. Here are the requirements and recommendations for Turoths. I've listed this from top to bottom, being most important to least important. Obviously you'll need 55 Slayer in order to kill them. Of course, if you want farming XP, then make sure you have Seed Aside, which you can get this from Cabbage's Face Punch. Having 92 Prayer means you can soul split camp, plus 90 Dungeoneering because you'll get access to Demon Horn Necklace, which will give you unlimited prayer with Bone Crusher. It's even better as you'll kill them much faster with Caraming 4 perk. Also, having Seed Aside and Herbicide upgrade from player-owned farms, which cost 50k beans, will automatically pick up the herbs and seeds, which will generate extra profit. If you're gonna use Herbicide upgrade, make sure you get the Herb Bag upgrade, which costs a grand total of 400 Herby Werby points. So where is this located? Well, that is in the Fremennik Slayer dungeon. You can use the teleports from either one of these 3 Slayer masks and you'll land one room beside this, which are Jelly, Kurask, or Aquanites. Otherwise, use the fairy ring code called AJR or the Ring of Slaying to get to the Fremennik Slayer dungeon, and you're gonna have to walk all the way around this. There are also level 62 and 81 agility shortcuts, which I've marked all of this on the minimap. Here is my equipment setup for both magic and range, as these are the best combat styles to use here. The weapons you're gonna use are Staff of Light, which is tier 75, or the Wyvern Crossbow, which is tier 85 for range. The perks I have for these two weapons are Caraming 4, and the second perk slot is really optional, but you can bring Equilibrium 4 plus Ruthless 3. You don't want to bring Staff of Darkness here because the Slayer Dart scales to tier 75 anyways. For some reason, I tried this with a dual wield Ascension setup, but you actually do way more auto attacks when cycling targets, thus it will make kills a lot slower. And then after this, you'll bring yourself a tier 70 power armor, which is the Subjugation or the Armadillo set. Of course, don't forget to bring Scavenging 4, and the other perk slot you can just fill it with Impatient. I don't recommend bringing Farmer's Outfit because you're going to end up taking a lot of damage, and power armor will give you faster kills. If you're maging, you'll bring Air and Death Runes, which are for Slayer Dart, or the Ascension Bolts for range. Demon Horn Necklace is really important to bring here because it will restore prayer with Bone Crusher. You can also bring Cinderbeam Gloves as this will increase the poison damage, and finally, any aura works. Moving on, we have the inventory setup for 3-hour trips. You want to bring the Aggro Overloads, which is a combination of aggression and overloads, and that was released in 2019 in case you just returned to this game. After that, you want to bring Weapon Poison +++ or the regular Weapon Poison ++ if you don't have that. And then for Magic Notepaper, you're gonna need this for the extra herbs. Smoke Devil Pouches and the Dust Cloud Scrolls will give you extra AoE, but if you don't have that, just use the Legendary Pet and it will automatically loot the noted stuff otherwise. For the Spring Cleaner, make sure you set it so that it alks the Addy and Rune items, and dismantles the battle staves. As I mentioned before, Herb Bag is really nice to have, and that is because Turoths drop a lot of unnoted herbs. Finally, this is what you want to have in your Slayer tool belt. The Charming Imp, the Bone Crusher, Seed Aside, Herbicide, and optionally, if you have that, bring the Advanced Gold Accumulator. When you're setting up, this is what you want to do. First, activate the Stone of Jas in the Glacier Cave for 3% more damage, and the fairy ring code is called DKQ. Then you want to toggle Herbicide and Seed Aside to pick up the following herbs and seeds that are worth picking up, pretty much all the Corm and Toadflax seeds, and every herb except for the Guam, Terramin, and the Abantos because they're pretty much worthless. Finally, don't forget to set the auto fire on Familiar to 1. For my action bar, I'm using a Revolution ++ setup, which automatically triggers ultimates and thresholds. For magic, I have Sunshine, then follow that up with Chain, Corruption Blast, Dragon Breath, and finally fill the rest with any basic abilities. Then for range, you want to have Death's Witness, followed by Ricochet, then Corruption Shot, then Bombardment, which is a threshold ability, and finally fill this with any basic abilities you want. You want to stand exactly where I'm standing, which is a little bit close to the middle. Don't forget to set your auto cast the Slayer Dart if you're using magic. Now pretty much you can AFK the rest of the way, but I've seen people ask me how do you survive this, and the best way to ensure that you survive while camping Soul Split is to wear tier 75 armor instead of wearing the farmer's outfit. This is because you may take a lot of damage by wearing that outfit instead. Every 48 minutes, renew the familiar, then use the scrolls on the familiar so that you can recharge that. You could also bring spiritualized food runes, which will extend the pouch by 9 minutes, but obviously this is not feasible if you're using a magic setup. Now your inventory will be filled with herbs around 1.5 hours into this trip, so make sure you use magic notepaper as the herb bag has a capacity of 100 of each herb if you fully upgraded this. Otherwise, if you didn't upgrade the herb bag, you will only have a capacity of 50, which means it's approximately every 30 to 40 minutes. Also, when you're banking, you can right-click empty the herb pouch from your inventory to your bank. In terms of how AFK this is, it's not nearly as good as Spiritual Warriors, but at least I was able to AFK for 3 minutes. Alright, so this is my overall loot from 10 hours. I killed a total of 25k Turoths. I got 2.8 mil range, and then for farming I got 2.15 mil, which is 215k farming XP per hour. Although people average around 250k, but the base XP rate is around 220k depending on your luck. Here are the charms I got in total, which is 1.8k gold, 5.5k green, 1.3k crimson, and 317 blue charms. For Scavenging perk, this is the entire list of all the components I got off of this. I proc uncommon components 982 times, and then for the rare components 12 times. Yeah, unfortunately I didn't get any notable rare components besides maybe a Vernic, but other than that I really did wish I got Noxious. Next up we have the monetary value, and that gives you a total of 52 mil in loot. I got a total of 30.4 mil in coins and alkables. So yeah, Turoths do drop a lot of grimy herbs, and the battle staves, orbs, and runes all come from Spring Cleaner. For supplies, I didn't keep track of everything, although I used 3,398 springs, and as for scrolls per hour, that was approximately 300. I didn't keep track of magic notepaper because sometimes I needed it, while other times I didn't need that at all. I would say you can expect around 3.5 mil to 4 mil profit per hour in net income, even more if you were to make these uncommon components into certain invention items like siphons, augmentors, etc. Although corpse spiders give you better components per hour for scavenging, but this offers you decent profit plus farming XP. I definitely also would have gotten faster kills if I was using a magic setup. Other than that, this is a pretty AFK plus profitable scavenging method, so I would recommend this. So yeah, thanks for watching and I hope it helps. If I missed anything, feel free to ask. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already, because I will do more loot videos like this in the future.